But no, I've lost where I was going there for a second. So with online, I think, but being online is a bit tricky because people are always engaging, or you're always engaging. But I guess what I'm trying to say is when you've got a lot of interaction happening, it doesn't actually give you a chance to do something or create. You know, whether you've got back from home from work, or you don't work, or you've got family, or you're trying to do some projects or watch something, catch up, play a game. You know, the thing is, when you're interacting constantly, you're not doing that because you're interacting. So I always find it a struggle when someone is like, how are you? And you respond with, I'm fine. What are you up to? They go, oh, I've been doing blah, blah, blah. Okay, brilliant. And they ask you, oh, what have you been up to? So far, I've been talking to you. And I'm not really doing anything in between. Maybe a little bit of internet surfing, you know, and just checking out some, I don't know, clothes on the internet, or, you know, you can't really... It's difficult, you know. Sometimes you actually have to step away and live to actually have new stories. Because the next day, if all I've done, say yesterday, all I did was be on Twitter and YouTube and Twitch and Discord. Oh god, all the tons of Discord servers that I have, and bam, 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 bam. Oh, commenting on this. Oh, that looks great, and doing this. And, oh, that's cool. And oh, da, 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 and conversations. Boom, boom, boom. And then the next day, it happens again. What have you been up to? Oh, I basically was chatting with everyone yesterday. I didn't do anything to myself, for myself. I didn't look after myself, really. I didn't do anything to wind down. And then do the same again. Next day, oh, what have you been up to? Oh, nothing. You know, I think that it's that importance of having that balance of, actually, I'm going to step away, so I actually have something new to talk about when I come back. I watched something very interesting perspective, or I did some, you know, fiber art, or I did some painting, or I did some board games, or I did some video games, or I did some music creation, or whatever. And actually, or I went safely out for a walk somewhere isolated, you know, whatever. You know, just make sure you stay safe, and, you know, but if you don't do that, then I find it very difficult to talk about something new if I've not done something. So I find that on my end that that communication tends to end up dropping, because I find that if I don't bring something new, all I do is ask questions rather than actually having a conversation. Because I'm always worried that they're going to ask me something, and then I can just be like, one word, nothing, didn't do much, same as yesterday, and have nothing of interest to talk about. And so that's a problem for me, because I find that on my end, conversations drift away. I don't have anything exciting to bring to the table, so I'm not going to the table. And then when people contact me, I feel guilty because I'm listening to what they're saying and I'm responding as well as I can. But if they start drifting away, all I can think of is, oh, I'm going to ask them something else about that topic, which might have already dried up. Or I might try and broach another subject, but then it's difficult. It really is. So, so internet, online communication is very difficult for me, and I've actually had a break recently, and that's been great. I've liked it, but it's been weird because I feel like I'm even more isolated now because I've had that break. I don't know what's going on. I get little pop-ups here and there. Some things I have turned off, just so I don't feel guilty that I didn't respond to something in a thread, or I didn't respond to something, that wasn't directly at me, but like in that community online. I'm like, I don't want to feel that guilt. I want to be able to kind of enjoy my break and actually feel a bit refreshed and bushy-tailed, and actually go on and, even if I still don't have anything substantial, because if my depression's messed me up or something, and I'm just like, oh, I've slept all day or something, oh, well, that's great, because I haven't done anything. I could have just been online chatting, but both for extended periods of time is not good for you, so something to work out, isn't it, really? But yeah, so going back to the original thing, where I live, IRL, I have no communities that I can go to that's close. They don't exist, which is a pain. And travelling out is quite a long way, and that's a lot of hours for one trip. And during a pandemic, I'm not doing that. I'm not stupid. So it's difficult, to have that IRL experience, to actually be with others that will, be able to validate and bring their perspectives to you and you to them, and I don't mean validate in the sense that I have to accept who they are because they require that to be who they are, and vice versa. No, I mean just the fact that we just automatically accept who we are. Me being pan, if I go to a LGBTQIA plus event, that's amazing because I'm around people where I don't have to justify being pan, or I don't have to go, oh hey, I'm pan because, or I'm pan, oh I've been pan for X time, I don't need to do that. I can actually just go be myself, and there's no judgment. It's chill. And vice versa for them, because obviously that's what we want. We want to feel like human beings, rather than having people having to hang arbitrary questions above our heads constantly, making us feel that we have to answer those questions. It's ridiculous. It's interesting because, like, with sexuality, I've always not understood when you get straight people and they go, oh, when did you know you were gay? I use gay on the broad spectrum rather than going for every small label. But I mean, oh, when did you know you were gay? And I'm like, well, it's not a stupid question, because you don't. When do you ever hear someone go, oh, when did you know you were straight? Why is it such a concrete thing that, you're always born cis and you're always born straight? Like, no, you're not. No one is. It's, geez, I mean, you look at say wild animals, right? A new species has been found, somewhere deep in the ocean, or or somewhere very, very far away, right? And scientists have found them and given them a name, right? But now that, humankind have come across this creature and given it a name, doesn't mean that it never, ever existed before humankind came into contact with it. No one knew about it, perhaps, but it didn't mean that they weren't already on this earth for X amount of years or millions of years, existing, or evolution, going from one advancement to another, like all creatures do, and it's just so funny. And it's just this thing that, oh, you had a fanny when you were a baby, you are a girl. Oh, you had a dick when you were a baby, you are a boy. Okay. No, why are you assigning gender to what genitalia you have? That blows my mind. And just the whole thing that everyone is, inherently cis and everyone is inherently straight, it just blows my mind. It really does. I mean, you are who you are. Right. The only thing you can do is experience more, mature more, learn more, soul search more, and perhaps you might find something new about yourself, but you're never going to find something that takes away from yourself. You can always add, not subtract. And I think when it comes to, sexuality, I think the only thing is it's very much a spectrum, and the fact is, it's like I actually commented on a really lovely YouTuber. I think it was a Teen Noir talking about coming out, and one of the things that I mentioned in my comment was, for me, sexuality is, if you have a body, say that body represents sexuality, right? And a label will say it's a pair of jeans, right? At certain times, you're not going to like the jeans anymore, or they're not going to fit right or something, and you have to find something that fits better. And that to me is what labels are. I mean, Tina Noir said it much better than me, the fact that, labels are there to help understand and help, represent a particular way within that sexuality, right? But you can change. I mean, I came out when I was about 18. And that's a whole nother, episode really. But I came out when I was about 18 that I was bisexual. And then during... I can't remember when I actually mentioned it. I think it wasn't the start of this year. I think it was a few months before December, maybe. So end of last year, maybe the start of this. No, it wasn't the start of this year. It was later than that. Earlier. God, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. But no, it was... Doesn't matter. Anyway, it was about the end of last year. And I ended up coming out to my partner as pan, and I was like, actually, I don't feel like bi is correct. I know bi can obviously be, two or more genders that you feel, attracted to, whether that's the romantic side of your sexuality or the sexual side of your sexuality, because you can have pan-romantic or pansexual, etc., etc. So, I was looking at it going, I don't just, I see celebrities and I see, people and everything, and I sort of look at them and I go, if I was single, would I, wouldn't I? And I'm like, girls, yes, boys, yes, okay, trans people, yes, pre-op, yeah, I see that, post-op, yeah, I see that. Also, my experiences with girls, with boys, with trans, and I'm like, yeah, I was happy with those experiences. Yeah, I felt that could have gone, like looking at it and going, yeah, I feel, no. And I'm like, but bi doesn't seem to, no. I think I would have probably stuck with bi if I felt that maybe 3 genders that I'd have been sexually attracted to, I would have probably stuck with that. Because bi, although everyone thinks there's 2 and there's always, it's always boy and girl. No, it's not just, being attracted to women and men. It's not. Because that's not the only genders in the world anyway. Your bisexuality could be a mix. Your sexuality could be, that you like MBs and men and that's it. Or you could like MBs, men and trans and that's it, and not have anything interested in women. Or any other combinations, right? Bisexuality isn't purely based on 2. People think that, but it's not purely correct. You could be 2, but it could be just a couple more. But I think if it's more than 3, I don't really think of that as bisexuality. I think that opens it. To me personally, the label would open up way more as pan. So I was like, okay, no, pan. Reading it up, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, pan. Okay. So, yep, hello, I'm pan. Problem is, when I came out as bi, that washed up very mutedly. Yeah. But the fact was, it still felt like people were having to get their heads around it, and I'm just like, sod it. If they... I'm not gonna keep coming out that I'm pan to those who already know that I'm bi. I'll put it in my bios online and blah blah blah. That's pan, and